So, in a world where all SUVs and crossovers are looking the same, there's one that dares to stand out. The MG S5, style, tech, and performance all packed into one. But do you think they have what it takes to undercut everyone else? And today with me, I have the 49 kilowatt hour luxury variant of the MG S5. Yes, this also comes in a bigger 64 kilowatt hour LFP battery that has a WLTP range of about 340 or 430 kilometers respectively. And in Nepal, this car comes with a 99 kilowatt motor that produces 250 Newton meters of torque, which means 0 to 100 happens in just about 7 seconds. Oh, and if you're wondering about top speed on this car actually goes up to 175 kilometers per hour, which, by the way, I did test out, so check out my old video. As for practicality, for a car with a wheelbase of about 2.7 meters, it's paired with a good ground clearance of 180 mm, which means it'll go through most underground parkings and rough patches in an ease. So as for boot space on the back of this car, it has a respectable 452 liters, which can be expanded to 1,441 liters when you fold the rear seats down in that traditional 60:40 ratio. And if you are interested in charging though, come at the back. You have a proper CCS Type 2 port with your AC on top and a DC plug together at the bottom, also lights. And both the variants of this car accepts 7 kilowatts of fast AC charging. But when you're on the highway, the bigger car supports up to 150 kilowatts of DC charging, whereas the smaller 49 kilowatt will accept up to 120 kilowatts, which means it will do 10 to 80 in about half an hour. Oh, and everyone gets V2L with a max output of 3.3 kilowatts. All right. That was a lot of numbers, I know. So let me hop into the driver's seat now and let's go driving. All right, seat belts check, brake pressed, shifting into gear. Always drive responsibly and safely. So the underpinnings of this car is the same as in the MG4. Yep, it's got the same modular, scalable platform that MG's created, which emphasizes on things like battery integration. Speaking of which, this car has a 11 centimeter tall battery. What? Performance and practicality as well, all emphasized on this platform. And they've genuinely upped their game with this car. Like, the cabin, the tech, the features are on a whole different league as compared to before. And it feels just so pleasant to drive. Like, nice. So as for driving modes, you have different modes to drive. I am currently on a custom mode, but you have a normal, sport, comfort, and snow that handles traction a bit differently. And each driving mode that changes makes the car's overall handling a bit more aggressive progressively. Like, foot down now, the car will pick up. And mind you, I am in custom mode with power delivery in normal or eco and steering mode weight to be gentle or the lightest. I'm also activated one pedal drive, so I'm on an incline right now. I'm going to check if there are vehicles behind, and I'm going to leave everything. So the car is actually going to come to a stop and then hold itself. Auto hold engages. What more could you want, right? So continuing on with the drive, and your steering wheel inputs are not just quick, but super accurate and precise. Where you point the car will turn. But if you're flooring the car with a rear wheel drive, foot on the accelerator, this car does sometimes show a tendency for a little bit of oversteer and a little bit of drifting. But as quick as this car can go quick, it can just as quickly come to a stop thanks to those 4 disc brakes. And because this is an EV, there's obviously got to be regenerative braking. So coming a bit more down, if I turn off custom mode, here we go, and regenerative brake is available in low, medium, strong, and adaptive. If I put in adaptive, it's just gonna scan the surroundings and figure that out on its own. It's a smart car after all. So I'm gonna put it back into custom and turn on one pedal driving, because that's just what I've been testing the car on. And if you are curious about suspension on this car for the overall handling, it's got one of the usual McPherson strut setups in the front, but at the back it's got a 5-link independent suspension system, which makes for some smooth handling, whether you're hitting the corners with higher speeds or you're at a bumpy off-road segment. So it's not the plushiest setup in town and it will pass on some vibrations to you, I'm not gonna lie there, but because it's a more performance-oriented package, the S5 in a whole, you definitely feel like the suspension does not let this car down. And how about driver's seat ergonomics? It's a very relaxed seating, yet you still have a very clear vision of your overall surroundings. And aiding your driving is going to be your 360-degree camera, which will turn off automatically once your speed increases, as it did now, to keep distractions away. But other than that, you also have this very cool looking bonnet view in front where you can see your bonnet. I don't know what that bus driver is doing, but also these like bends on each side of the bonnet where your headlights are housed, and it looks pretty cool. As for creature comforts on this car, this variant comes with electronic adjustment for the driver's seat, 6-way as I'm told, and then you also get driver's seat and passenger seat heating, as well as steering wheel heating if you live in colder climates. Alright, it's a hot day, so I'm turning all of that heating off. But what I'm also really liking about the MG is that it has given not 1 but 2 programmable buttons down here. And so on the left hand side, I have programmed it to change my regenerative braking levels between the 4 different settings, and on the right hand side I have allowed it to change between driver modes so that I don't have to go digging into this. Also, what I really appreciate about the updates that MG made to this car is that they have now introduced this drop down function called MG Pilot Custom, and basically what it does is it's a whole list of menus, toggles regarding your ADAS level 2 that you can now handpick to turn on or off and then pre-save it. And here's the best part, unlike in my MG4 review, once I turn the car off, this is going to stay in its memory so that when I am turning the car back on, ready to hit the road, all of those settings are pre-saved. I think that was my biggest complaint when testing out the MG4 last year. So good going, MG. Thank you for that. Sporty and sleek, isn't it? So as for the exteriors on this car, come check out the bonnet in front. Nothing hydraulic here, no frunk either. You do have your hydraulic fluids here and your windshield wipers up here. And then you have everything covered. Most likely your AC-DC converters are all down there. And you have your 12-volt battery here to run your appliances and a fuse box on the side. Pretty much it. There is room for a frunk, sort of. And then right at the front, you have a very loud and proud MG badge. So Up on top of the car, you have some of your sensors packed in, like your rain sensors for automatic wipers or like automatic headlight sensors baked in. And then you have boneless wipers right down there. And then while we're talking about lights and sensors, there's a proper full LED treatment of lights at the front and at the back. The lights at the front are broken up into two divisions, the upper half being your DRLs. Oh, and if you notice this pattern, it's supposed to mimic a checkered flag. Below though is your headlight. And continuing below, you have cutouts here for your radiator AC intake. Because this is a EV car, you don't have any other front grille openings. Your 360 degree, one of the many cameras here. And then it's a very smooth and flush front of the car. So then coming to the side of the car, you have your indicators integrated into these electronically adjustable and foldable mirrors. Oh, and if you're living in a colder climate, these are heated too. And then up on top though, you have these sleek roof rails, which I've been told by MG can support up to 70 kgs of payload, but the highlight up here is this massive panoramic sunroof that stretches from the front all the way to the back. And then coming to the wheels down below, MG has given Bridgestone tires with the tire size 225/55 R18s. Yep, you heard that right. These are 18-inch rims on the higher variant, but the lower variant still gets 17-inch rims. And then coming back up and out, this car is very sleek and low, but it still gives that proper SUV aura. And at the front, you have these angular depressions that start on the front door and go all the way to the back. So if you're wondering about the doors, the front door will open pretty wide, and let's check out that door thud. Nice, if you ask me. And it's a similar repeated case at the back too. A good loud door thud with good ingress and egress for passengers. Oh, and obviously your charger ports back here, a CCS Type 2 port that I already mentioned at the beginning of this video. Then coming towards the back, you have your coupe sort of shape C-pillar here, and then your tail light sticks around the back 3/4 ends. Again, full LED treatment back here, a bit of that checkered pattern back here too, and this tail light stretches all the way right into the center where there is another loud and proud MG badge. Thankfully, MG have graced us with a rear window wiper and a top-mounted spoiler with a stoplight. Also, there's more MG model badging to the bottom right of the car. And then if you look down below, you have a tow hook compartment here, followed by 1 and 2 parking sensors on this side and 2 more on that side. So as for the interior on the car, starting with the driver's seat, you have a mixture of textures all over the car, even on the doors. Soft touch, synthetic leather, hard buttons, handles, a large cubby for your bottle. Probably fits in something bigger, your speaker, and then your headlight adjustment, angle adjustment, and mirror controls are all here. Your boot opening is there. And then these very sleek looking air vents. Your seat, on the other hand, is also a mixture of different fabrics. So cloth here, synthetic leather here, a bit of perforation here, and adjustments on the side, adjustments for your steering wheel down there beneath, your accelerator and brake pedal, as well as a dead pedal. So getting into the car, it's a nice thud, starting with your driver's steering wheel. On the left hand side, you have your quick access buttons to toggle through your ADAS controls, which are on the left hand side. One of the programmable buttons here that I mentioned, the other here, voice command, and then this will go through your menus over there, and this will be your media controls in case anything is playing. Yeah, quick controls to look through your settings, your tire pressure monitoring system, and your accumulated miles, your battery percentage on the left hand side, but that's pretty much it. And then this is a bigger 12-inch center console. I have Apple CarPlay wirelessly connected. Pretty snappy if you ask me. Works together just fine. Yeah. And HVAC controls, physical buttons. I absolutely adore these. So fan speed, here your temperature, your hazard lights, your air direction, your media control, also quick static button for going into the home. And then your air vents back down here, two smaller cup holders here, a wireless charging pad and a slit for your phone that have kept the keys, your gear knob. And here is your wireless charging pad, which I think was a hit or a miss because they could have provided an air vent here. And so your phone does tend to sometimes overheat. But then coming down, I have a large cubby holding my DSLR, as well as suction mount and an umbrella too, believe it or not. Your passenger seat is manual adjustment, unlike the driver's seat. Similar treatment of patterns there. A glove box, which has a light on the inside. Pretty average size. I have more equipment there. And then I'm really in love with this dashboard finishing. I don't know why. Up on top, you do have a mirror with a light. And then more lights up here. Your sunroof opening and closing button. So that's for your sunshade. And then the other one is for a panoramic sunroof that actually opens. Oh, and something that's dying in most cars is your holder for shades. And then you have a manually adjustable anti-glare rear view mirror here. Similar treatment of things on the driver's display. Hello. A light up there. Yeah, and that pretty much sums up your front interior. Oh, and I forgot to mention, but do you see those blinking lights? That is actually your driver fatigue monitoring system. So this car has crazy technology embedded in it, right? And coming to the back, it's a similar treatment of different fabrics and touch points. But, ooh, I love this. Remember that 110 cm battery thickness I told you about? It seems to be maximizing space and practicality back here, because the first thing I could tell was that under thigh support on this car is definitely a league better than other electric vehicles. So you have a cubby here, you have two rear AC vents here, a USB-C outlet here, and then yeah, two smaller cuppies for your like to-go cups, coffee, small Coke bottles probably. Putting that back up and just looking around. But you do have isofix points on both sides and 3 headrests. And I think what really feels great in the back seat of this car is this panoramic sunroof really adds in light and a sense of space. Oh, you also have coat hangers back here and quick buttons for your lights on each side. Nice, that's a good touch. But probably what you're most interested in, this is the seating position pushed all the way to the back. It's not my driver's configuration, and my footwell room down here is good. My knee room is still pretty good. Shoulder room is great, and headroom is awesome. So I think it's like a really comfy seat to be in, especially for longer journeys. Alright, so since we just saw that long list of safety features, I have something else to point out regarding the S5. It's that safety is paramount to the MG S5. Like, look at all these ADAS features: rear driving assist, blind spot detection, lane change assist, speed limit recognition, driver fatigue monitoring. It goes on and on. Yeah, the thing about MG is that they're really not cheaped out. And so even if you are buying the base variant or the luxury top variant in the smaller battery or higher battery capacity, you get ADAS level 2 standard. It's not like some of the other manufacturers in town which have just reserved these special features for their top end trims of each model. And so the great thing is that whether you are rolling out with a lower trim, base trim, or the highest, you have the confidence to feel safe in all of them. So here at the end of my review, I guess I'm here still answering some questions. What was efficiency like, if you might be wondering? Does it give its WLTP claimed range? And did it actually undercut its competitors in the market? And well, I have the energy graphs pulled up, and spoiler alert, this car is a bit on the hungry side. Like, no sugarcoating that. When driving up Shivapuri getting these B-rolls for you, I did take the car up to like 25, 26, 20 above kilowatt hour for every 100 kilometers. So you're probably getting just 4 kilometers of travel on each unit of electricity, kilowatt hour. And with one pedal driving, easy city driving, I have been getting around 16, 17 kilowatt hour, which isn't the lowest, but with better driving, I'm confident this is going to give you over 300 kilometers of range. And oh gosh, the MG S5 is such a comfy and mature car to drive. Like, it's such a mature step up from its predecessors, and currently it's also really good value for money if you look out in the market. Like, I am so happy seeing and getting to experience the evolution of MG. Alright, that was me for this review. Do let me know what you think about MG S5's tech, performance, and style, and drop a comment down below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.